welcome to Young Hero Rants, the show in which I rant about whatever aspect of the world is annoying me lately. I am your host, ThatKidDouglas, aka the Young Hero, the internet's loneliest D-list personality, and tonight I'm going to be doing a rant on fanboys. Now, this is a rant I've been wanting to do for the longest time, and now it's finally time, so let's get into it. Fanboys of anything are annoying, and are honestly the cancer of entertainment, and nowhere is this more prevalent than with comic books. Or to be more specific, two of the biggest comic book brands in the world, and of course I'm talking about Marvel and DC. But Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice and Captain America Civil War are releasing this year. Batman v Superman already released, while Captain America Civil War releases on May 6th. And of course there's been arguments erupting on which film is better. Now, Batman v Superman was absolutely panned by critics. I believe it has a 28% rotten rating on Rotten Tomatoes, so a lot of people just did not like it. I mean, I saw the film, and well, it's not bad. Tonally, it's a goddamn mess, and quite frankly, it's a disappointment. But on the other side of the spectrum, Civil War so far has been unanimously praised as one of the greatest comic book movies of all time, and they released the embargo like literally a month before it releases, so that should tell you how confident Marvel is in the film. Anyways, there's been a lot of infighting between DC fanboys and Marvel fanboys, and oh man, the DC fanboys have been having a fit. And quite frankly, I ran into what is quite possibly not only the biggest DC fanboy I've ever seen, but one of the most butthurt individuals I've ever seen, and that is a man by the name of Future XMD Comic Zone. He is a hardcore DC fanboy to the nth degree. I'm not kidding. Now, before I start off on this little rant, I just want to make it known that I don't think Marvel fanboys are right in any of this either. If you really want my opinion on it all, I think Marvel and DC fanboys are both idiotic morons that waste their lives bitching about shit that really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. Just wanted to put that out there in case anyone accuses me of being a Marvel fanboy, okay? Now, he made a video, calling out people that were, reviewing Civil War positively, the first Twitter reactions to the movie. I'm not going to be showing the video, but I'll leave a link in the description down below. You should watch it. It's really funny. That's all I'm going to say. It's really, really funny. But he basically called out these critics as being cocksuckers, saying that they're a bunch of biased Marvel fanboys, saying that they're getting paid off by Marvel and Disney, and all of this other shit. Jesus Christ. I mean, this is the thing I don't get. It's a goddamn movie. And this guy is getting mad because people didn't like the movie. So he's lashing out because people didn't like the movie. It's just... I mean, the entire rant is just completely nonsensical, idiotic, and it honestly just comes off as a butthurt fanboy who's mad that the movie he liked wasn't reviewed positively. And it's really funny how he says critics are cocksuckers and all of this other shit, and he specifically lists people like John Campea, John Schnepp, Jeremy Johns, Black Nerd Comedy, Jermaine Lussier, and many others. But on the flip side of the coin, if the movie was positively received, he would be praising them and saying how awesome they are. So nothing he says is sincere or truthful or really even noteworthy. It's fake. And this is the very definition of a flip-flopper. This guy just flip-flops so much that it's absolutely unbelievable. Listen. This guy is a slave to a brand, a slave to a company that's owned by another larger conglomerate that doesn't know he exists and doesn't give a shit about him, And he's somehow deluded himself into thinking that DC and Warner Brothers actually care about him. Dude, they don't know you exist. They don't care about you. They just want your goddamn money. In the same way that Marvel and Disney just want your money. You are nothing more than a walking dollar sign. You're nothing more than that. Jesus Christ. I mean, it's one thing to say you like a movie that's critically panned, and if you like Batman v Superman, that's completely fine. That's your opinion. But everyone else is allowed to have an opinion in saying that they don't think the movie is good, that they didn't like the movie. And the general consensus is that people did not like Batman v Superman, while the positive consensus so far is that people really like Civil War. It doesn't mean that they're biased. It doesn't mean that they're Marvel fanboys. It just means they like something over the other. They prefer one or the other. Do you honestly think that DC and Warner Brothers are going to send you a cake because you defended their movie? Do you honestly think you're going to get a seat on the board of directors at Time Warner because you said Batman v Superman was the most super duper awesomest thing ever? No! So what's the point? People, all you are doing, you are an idiotic fanboy who nobody respects, that spends his time bitching about shit that no one cares about and that doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. You've essentially deluded yourself into nothing more than an internet lolcow. And if there's one thing you do not want to be, is an internet lolcow. You know? And that's the thing I don't get. I mean, it's a movie, and people have opinions. You can't just be saying that, oh, they're just a bunch of stupid Marvel fanboys, and oh, they're retarded, blah, blah, blah. If you like this movie, you're retarded. How the hell is that? How the hell do you expect to get people on your side and to look at your point of view when you're insulting the very audience you're trying to reach? That's the one thing. That's one of my pet peeves when it comes to YouTubers, is when they insult the audience they're trying to reach. It's always a bad idea, because then people are not going to see your point of view. People are not going to want to listen to what you have to say. They're just going to think, wow, this guy's a dick. I don't want to listen to him. And that's what you are doing, you know? I mean, here's the job of a film critic. The job of a film critic is that they are supposed to analyze and break down every aspect about a film to convey to the audience whether or not it's worth seeing, to convey to the audience whether or not they should spend their money on it. And considering going to the movies is a very expensive endeavor, audiences want absolute assurance that the movies they're seeing are good before they spend the exorbitant amounts of money it costs to see movies nowadays. So you can't blame film critics. They're just doing their job. They're just doing what they're paid to do. And it's quite funny how you resort to personally insulting the critics that didn't like the movie. It just comes off as childish. And again, I'm not saying that you have to take a critic's word at face value or treat it as law, because it is just an opinion. But I don't understand how insulting them because they gave their honest opinion and didn't like what you like makes you any better. It really doesn't. And if anything, everybody is just sitting back and laughing at you because you're acting like an idiot. You're getting so worked up over a fucking movie. You're getting so worked up because people don't like what I like, so I'm just gonna be a jackass about it and call them names. Nah, you're just a bunch of like retards. Seriously, that is what you are acting like. God damn it. It's a fucking movie. Nothing more than that. And that's another thing. You never express in the video why you like the movie. Like, if you just explain why you like the movie and why you think it's a masterpiece, I could see where you're coming from. Sure, I wouldn't agree with you because I wasn't a big fan of the movie myself, but at least I could see where you were coming from. But you never explain it. You just say, oh, the movie's good. Movie's a masterpiece. It's amazing, blah, blah, blah. Everyone that's hating on it is a bunch of Marvel fanboys. Ah, fuck you, fuck you. That's essentially what you're doing. You don't elaborate. So how can anybody know if, like, how, like... This is just ridiculous, and this is what I don't like about fandom, is that you are forced to like one thing or the other. You can't like both. You know, there's no middle ground. You either have to like one thing or the other, and that's fucking stupid to me. People should be allowed to like whatever they want to like. Look, I like Marvel, and I like DC equally. I just want good comic book movies. Because good comic book movies are good for the genre as a whole. Sure, I like Iron Man, I like Guardians of the Galaxy, I like the Avengers, but I also like the Dark Knight films. I also like the Batman trilogy, especially the Dark Knight and the Dark Knight Rises, and hell, I even thought Man of Steel was pretty good. So, I like both equally, you know? And even still, you can have a preference between one or the other, But just don't be a jackass about it. Don't be a dick like Future XMD Comic Zone. And literally, these videos have no substance. This is essentially the comic version of Black Bond. Because once you've seen one video, you've pretty much seen them all. They're all the same, basically telling everybody how great DC is and how Marvel sucks and saying that everybody, everybody likes Marvel are retards and they're biased and they're paid off and blah, 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 blah. There's no substance. So the videos are bland, idiotic, moronic, and they're just dumb. I can't tell who's more obnoxious, Hollywood God or yourself. I'm trying really hard to not completely lose it right now. I'm trying real hard to suppress my anger, because this is dumb. I mean, this is essentially the very definition of first world problems. We don't have any real issues to complain about, so we find the dumbest shit to talk about and complain about because, well, we have nothing else to do, and that's what we as human beings do best, complain. I mean, this is just as dumb as the whole Ray's and Mary Sue argument. Like, in the grand scheme of things, these are both issues that mean nothing to the grand scheme of things. And the fact that this is what some people choose to complain about when there are other important issues going on in the world is absolutely mind-boggling. You know what? Look, I could go on for hours about how much of a dick this guy is and how stupid he is for his whole fanboy mentality, but honestly, I don't really need to. I think I've proved my point. Seriously. You can prefer one or the other, or you can like both. But don't be a jackass about it. Don't be a dick about it, and remember to respect other people's opinions. You can like Batman v Superman, but not like Civil War. You can like Civil War, not like Batman vs. Superman. Or you can like both. It's totally up to you, because hey, opinions are like assholes. Everybody has them. Anyways, that's all I gotta say. This is ThatKidDouglas, aka the Unhero, signing out. Deuces, stay frosty and keep it weird. Take us home, Peter Griffin.
So, this is not Reagan?
No, it's Rich Little. He's an impressionist. He's been screwing with your head.
Well, this thing is worthless. Like my Palestinian alarm clock.
Allahu Akbar!